Yeah, I just purchased this Rivian R1T. I mean, so far, man, this is the best vehicle I've ever owned by far. Had it for almost a month now, and I get a lot of questions on, how to charge this vehicle. Like how far does it go? A lot of people ask me, what's the range of this vehicle? How long does it take to charge? How much does it cost to charge? A lot of different questions like that. So I'm going to be addressing a few of those issues today. Okay, here is my Charger right here. And this is a Rivian Charger. I did purchase this when I purchased the vehicle. It actually was kind of purchased separately. This Charger did arrive, I think actually a day after I actually took delivery of the vehicle. So they try to mail it out ahead of time, so you have it, by the time you get it, you take delivery of your vehicle. In this case, I did install this myself, and it actually was not that difficult to install this charger here. Basically, it really consists of 3 wires, 2 hots and a neutral, and on the 240 volt. If you read the directions, it pretty much tells you exactly, what type of wire to use, what gauge wire to use, and things like that. And if you're not comfortable with doing electrical, by all means hire a professional. This is, it can be very dangerous. You're dealing with high voltage here. This here is a 48 amp charger. So it does require either 6 gauge or either, I actually put 4 gauge in here because I have a pretty long run to my box. It's probably around 80 to 90 feet run of wire. So in order to limit the amount of resistance, electrical loss through resistance, I did put larger gauge wire in. This here is the Rivian guide this is the installation guide for the wall charger. And it shows you right here, sorry about that, as far as what gauge wire to use depending on what amperage that you're going to get out of here. So, and right here you see this figure right here, it showed you how to do these little toggle switches to set it up to provide a certain amount of current. It's actually defaulted at 48 amps. And right here you see it requires a 40 amp requires a 60 amp breaker, and it requires a 6 gauge AWG. And if you see down here, it says used copper conductors. These typical conductor sizes are based on 90 degrees Celsius column in the National Electrical Code. So if you're not familiar with what that means, hire a professional. I want to talk about the charger length here. This charger cable is actually, I believe, is supposed to be 23 feet long. So let's go ahead and stretch this out and see. My garage is about 23 feet long also, 3 feet deep, maybe a little bit more. And you can see that this cable does stretch quite a distance. So if you needed to use this to charge a different vehicle, like a Tesla, for example, with the charge port in the back, or a Kia EV6, you can, get it to the back port with no problem. And like I said, this garage is pretty deep. So if your garage is even more shallower, it should be even easier to get, to charge multiple vehicles with this one charger. All right, next we're going to discuss how this vehicle is charged, the Rivian R1T. And it's going to be different for each vehicle, but we're going to discuss how this particular vehicle is charged. Here you just touch this here, and it opens up and exposes the charge port. Okay, right here, this is I think it's called a J772 charger connector here. And these right here, these are the CCS chargers here for the high-speed charging that you use for DC charging at a public charging network. But since we won't be using that, we can keep that closed. And right now we're going to plug in the Rivian charger and see it clicks in. And you see right here, right now, it's not doing anything. This thing is just pulsating white. And basically what this means is that it's in a ready mode. For right now, I have this vehicle set up to charge at a certain time I had it set on the schedule. And I'll show you that. And you see right here, it's showing charge to begin at 11 p.m. And so every 11 p.m. every night, that's when my vehicle starts charging. The reason for that is that through my utility, if you're charging off peak, they give you special rates. And the off-peak time begins at 11 p.m. and I believe it ends at 8 a.m. For my utility. But that's something you want to check into. Your utility may offer special rates, which actually reduce the cost to charge your electric vehicle. So, but I'm next going to show you how quickly this thing charges, and it's not fast by any means. Like, it's not like filling a gas car up. This is considered, what I have at a Rivian Charger is a level 2 charger. You have level 1, which you can just plug it into a regular outlet, like you plug your phone charger in. But that charges at about 1 to 2 miles an hour, and it may take almost a week to charge this vehicle up using just 120 power outlet, coming from a regular wall outlet. And they did provide a charger with the vehicle. It is in the frunk, and I'm not going to pull that out right now because I'm too lazy. But so that's one alternative you can use a charger that comes with the vehicle to charge it up. But right now we're going to go into the menu, and I'm actually going to show you how quickly this vehicle charges. Energy, and right here you can set the charge limit. I have mine set to 70%, and you can see when it's at again with 67%, it's giving me 206 miles, and that is on all-purpose mode. Now you can touch this, and it can actually show you what range it would get in these different modes. For example, in conserve, I can get up to 226, and when it's fully charged, I can get 330 miles. In all-purpose mode, where I have it set now, you can get 206 miles with the 67% charge I have, or you can get up to 300 miles of range. And in sport mode, if you want to rip it and cut it and speed past old ladies, like every now and then I got to show an old lady up. You can put it in sport mode, and you see it'll drop the current range down to 203, and at fully charged at 100%, it'll drop it down to 296, which is still really good. I've noticed since I had this vehicle, first I had it, charging at 100%. Then I had it, switched it down to 85%. And I was like, I didn't need that much range. And now I'm charging only to 70%. Because this vehicle's, so far as the battery capacity has been very sufficient as far as my daily driving by far. So, but just keep that in mind if you're deciding on purchasing an electric vehicle, that you probably need a lot less range than what you really believe, unless you're on a road trip. Then that's really the only time you ever want to charge up to 100%. Or if you want to show off and, show the acceleration of the vehicle, there's really no need to charge to 100%. And in fact, it's not good for the battery to do that. The best thing is just to charge it to 70%. And that'll really extend the life of the battery if you only charge it to 70%. And if you purchase a vehicle like this, I'm sure you'll find it's going to be more than enough to meet your daily commuting needs. Okay, now I'm going to show you how quickly this vehicle charges up. So I'm going to turn the schedule off, and I'm going to do an immediate charge if I can figure out how to do that. Let me see, there's something here, charge now, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to hit charge now. Oh, and now you see that the green light just came on the Rivian Charger. So that's showing that it's actively engaged, and now it's showing how quickly it's charging. And if you see, it's showing that it's charging right now at 13 miles an hour. It's going up to 16. And we'll just see it sit here and wait and let it clock up. Now we're up to 21 miles an hour, 22, 23, 24. And usually the highest I've seen it go is like 27 miles an hour. But it usually averages out about 23, 24 miles an hour. And this is why I actually put the higher gauge wire in, you know, so I don't lose any, I don't have as little current loss as possible when that current is going through these wires, because it's going through a longer distance, which means more resistance. If you're familiar with the Ohm's law, you know, the distance and the amount of resistance, you know, it's going to reduce the current that's actually going through the wire. So, and that's something you may want to talk to your electrician about, you know, maybe sizing up depending on how far the run is. But you can see here, you figure 24 miles an hour. You figure over a course of, you know, 4 hours, you're going to get about 100 miles of range, you know, and which is not bad. You know, you can get another, you know, over, you know, between, for me, you figure over, you know, if you're, you know, charging up after 11 o'clock and you don't leave out the house until around 6, that's 7 hours of charging that you can get right there. And that's a good amount of miles that you can actually, you know, get, you know, for your daily commute. So if you have fear of range anxiety, I'm just trying to let you know or show you that that is something that you shouldn't be afraid of, because most people are charging at home. This is just like having a gas station at your house, and every night you can fill your car up, you know, if you choose to. I got my charge limit set to 85. That's why it's probably limiting. Okay, now I just changed my charge limit to 85%. So now it should probably increase the amount of voltage that's going through here. Perhaps. We'll see. But it looks like we're still between 23 and 24 miles an hour. You see right here, it's put 0 miles of range on here. I mean, you can do the math. You know, it takes an hour just to get 24, so it does go up slowly. So this is something to keep in mind. You can do this while you're sleeping. So while you're sleeping, every night you can wake up to a vehicle that has, you know, full for all intent and purposes, and whether full is for you is 70%, whether it's 85%, or whether it's 100%, whether, you know, if you're going on a road trip or if you have to tow something. So, yeah, so if you have any fear of, you know, range anxiety, which a lot of people may have, especially if you've never driven an electric vehicle before. And so I'm just trying to help reassure you that, you know, if you're the average driver, you know, you're commuting, you know, less than, you know, 200 miles a day, that you should have no fear of ensuring that you have enough electricity or enough range to get to where you need to go. So I've been driving electric vehicles for since around 2011. The previous two cars I had, they were both Chevy Volts, and you got anywhere from around 35 with the original, around 40 miles of range with that vehicle. And I found that, you know, that was almost enough to suffice for my commute. And based on the data, it said that most Americans commute less than 50 miles a day. And so, you know, if you have 200-300 miles of range, that's more than enough to satisfy your needs. And so, like I say, I have actually reduced the charge level of this vehicle, because even actually I've been driving longer, you know, over these last few days, you know, actually going to work and then going to visit my mother, you know, who's experienced some health issues, and she lives, you know, a little distance away from me. So it definitely triples the amount of distance I normally drive on a daily basis. But even still, that's more than enough range to get around. I'll still have over 100 miles of range left when I get back home. Plug it in, and when I wake up, I'm back at 220 miles of range that I have to use for the next day. And, you know, that's just some of the benefits, is that you're more sure you don't have to go to that gas station and have your hands smelling like gas. And fluctuating gas prices, you know, one event across the world could shoot gas prices through the roof, or you don't really have to worry about that with electricity. whether you're an environmentalist, it doesn't care, it doesn't matter. For me, that I am getting my fuel from America, that my money is actually going to Americans, even whether that's through coal, through natural gas, or whatever, or nuclear, or whatever the power source is being used, wind, solar, any of those power sources, those are American-based sources. And those are actually paying American workers, so I'd rather have my money stay in America and pay Americans. Now, yes, you do have the possible environmental advantages, but my primary concern is energy independence. And there's something else you can do with electric vehicles that you cannot do with a gas vehicle, energy independence. So part of my plan is also to purchase solar panels and, actually be off grid. So if you consider yourself a conservative-minded person and you're into conservation, you should be probably really excited about the ability to have energy independence on your own, where you can create your own fuel and power your own vehicle, power your home, without having to worry about the grid. You could be self-reliant like us Americans. This is how we built this country, through self-reliance. And some other things, but you know what I mean. You got the point. But this is just some of the benefits of electric. So this is one of many electrical offerings. I mean, they have a lot of different electric vehicles out there at different cost points. These things can be quite expensive, but I'm telling you that once you go electric, you're not going to go back. I mean, the driving experience is much better. The ability to not have to go to a gas station. That within itself, and the fuel savings by being able to charge at home, and you can kind of predict, like for me, this may cost me $60 a month to charge this vehicle, which you go to a pump, I think my lawnmower actually costs me more money to run in this vehicle. I know it does. It's not think. My lawnmower actually does cost me more money to run than it does to commute daily in this vehicle. So. But I just wanted to share, the charging experience, and hopefully I answered some of your questions. If you have any comments, please put them in the comment. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. If you're, maybe considering an electric vehicle. And please like and subscribe also. I'm not a big YouTuber. Obviously, I don't have that many subscribers, and you can see that. But if you like this content, please subscribe. So I can produce more content for you. And you can also tell, because I don't have subscribers, I'm not biased. No one's paying me to say any of this stuff. So you can rest assured that the information that you're getting from me is the truth. And unbiased, So you all have a great day. Great talking to you, and see you in the next one.